All right, everybody. Welcome back after a week off for some much-needed R&R to your next episode of the Locker Room Guys. Of course, I am Watto Balto here with the crew. Got a good one for you tonight. We're going to be talking about a couple of things coming up. FIFA is over, the World Cup is done, and we have a new champ. So that will be first. And following that up, we're going to go ahead and talk some baseball as we get into the dog days and heading towards the playoffs. Week one, we guys gave all of us guys kind of gave a thought on where we thought the divisions were gonna be, and we're gonna kind of revert back to that, see where the divisions are sitting, see how wrong we were on a lot of them, and how right we were on some of them. So we're gonna get right into it tonight, guys. So let's just start it off with FIFA World Cup 2026 is officially over, and Spain is the champions of the World Cup, defeating Argentina 1-0 to go ahead and secure it late in the game to go ahead and secure the win over Argentina, sending Messi home in potentially his final FIFA. He is 38, turning 39, right?
39. He just turned
39.
39 during
That's
the
right.
World
He
Cup.
just turned. That's right. He just turned 39. So he would technically be 43 at the next one. Kind of don't see too many players playing at 43 years old in the FIFA World Cup. So potentially, we don't know for certain. I don't think he's said it yet, but potentially his final FIFA World Cup. So I'm gonna let this go over to Watto Truin. He is the Messi guy who thinks Messi is the greatest of all time. So I'm gonna let him give his recap of the match, start with the semifinals against England and how he thought that one went, and then go into the finals against Spain and how he thinks that one went for the Argentina side.
All right, so I'll start off with the semifinals against England. The whole game, England absolutely annihilated Argentina until the very end. I believe when Jude Bellingham pushed his chest out and said, "We're here to stay. We're beating Argentina." Messi, if you guys haven't seen the memes everywhere, like shook his head up and down and then gave two assists to win against England. That I think it was Messi showed up there when his team needed him, and then obviously towards going into the finals when his team needed him, he had the most ball touches in that game that he had in a single game throughout the World Cup. And he tried to be a distributor. He tried to be selfish. Nothing was connecting. In the first half, Spain had 19 shots on goal, or 19 shots total. It was like 8 or 9 on target, and Argentina was held to 0. Like Spain ran that game. There, as much as I want to say, oh, Messi, and like no, Spain was the better team. Spain deserved to win, passing the torch. And I don't believe Messi will be back for another one. I think this was the last time we see Lionel Messi touch the soccer pitch. Besides, he might get one more year in our Miami, but other than that, I don't think he'll be at the next World Cup in 2030.
Um, okay, I'll give a little bit. Spain France was a hell of a game, fun to watch, and even more exciting, I think, in the end was France and England. I mean,
Hell yeah,
that was
hell
that
yeah,
was
10
a
goals,
game. What, 6-4,
six
right?
four, 10 goals.
6-4, 10 goals. That was honestly, sorry, the best game of the
Oh,
last
it was
couple of days.
indeed.
They were going ham. Nobody was
And
giving it in.
Mbappe took the goal scoring lead and got the golden boot because of that game. Like
Yeah,
that
like,
was a good
dude,
game.
that game was wild. As far as Spain beat or Argentina beating England, um, I mean, I'm gonna completely agree. Argentina did not look like the team that they did through most of the World Cup coming into the
Through the
semifinals.
first
England,
32,
yeah,
16s, eights,
eights, yeah,
quarters, semis, none of
yeah,
it. They looked like
no.
ass. I believe there was some favoritism built into it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they did not look like England. England definitely should have won that game. They dominated them pretty much the entire game. They did make Argentina for the first time in a very long time look kind of basic. Messi did step up and do what he was supposed to do in that game, and I will give credit where credit's due, solely off of his back because his team didn't do much in that game. Um, but heading into the finals, you know, there again, I'll say this for any team sport. You can have all the accolades of trophies and this and that and the third, but at the end of the day, it's a team sport. You need all 11 guys on that pitch playing. Messi is great. I've never denied that he's great. You know my personal feelings on the greatest of all time. I've said this multiple times. I think it's Ronaldo. And I will die on that mountain. That's just my opinion. Because of his domination through multiple high-end leagues in the soccer world, where Messi only ever dominated in one that was already dominated by the team he played on for years and years. That's besides the point.
I will
Messi did
also
not.
say,
Yeah.
I will also say in that Spain finals game, you know how Michelob Ultra always pulls up the QR code and scans for superior player of the match. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I put Argentina's goalie. He
He
saved
was, yeah, he
some
saved so many. It should have
incredible
been like
goals.
8 to no, it should have been like 8 to nothing.
Oh, dude,
8 to
absolutely.
nothing.
Through the
I
first
mean,
half had 9 saves and almost finished, I
yeah.
think, at like 14 or 15 at the end of the game. Like
Yeah.
every other time, I voted Messi, just obviously being my favorite player to ever touch a soccer pitch. I was a Ronaldo
Yeah.
fan as a kid, but ended up loving Messi when he joined Inter Miami. Um, but it push come to shove, Martinez was definitely the superior player in that match between both teams. Like Spain
Yeah.
played phenomenal. Argentina played kind of trash, but
Yeah.
Martinez, he
But
held it together for
yeah.
his team as long as he could. But
One
eventually,
was gonna get in. One was gonna get in.
the cookies are going to crumble when
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
25 shots on goal. It's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually something's gonna go in. I mean, and I feel like for the first time in a long time in soccer, I feel like Messi became kind of a
Humble.
shadow. Yeah, he became a shadow. He became not who we have seen him be in multiple championships and multiple World Cups. He kind of faded away. He tried, but there was nothing to try. I mean, from front to back, from defense to midfield to striking, Spain completely and utterly dominated Argentina. There was not
Good.
a besides goalie play, and that's only because if you've seen all the TikToks out there in the world, the other guy was out going to get a sandwich while the game was being played because they were never on their side of the pitch, like ever. Like he was home sitting watching a game with his mom, and he walked back onto the pitch to celebrate that they won the game because he didn't do nothing through the entire game. Spain's goalie sat there. Argentina's goalie got worked, and he held up his end. He did what everybody thought Argentina was going to do. He stopped, I think all said like
But
13,
to go
14,
also
15 goals.
within the final minutes of extra time, I think that game was superior. Going 0-0 through 90 and then finally scoring at 110 minutes out of 120. It was insane. Did my jaw hit the floor when that ball hit the back of the net? Absolutely when Spain scored. But at the end of the day, they deserved to win.
Yeah. And
Argentina did not show up until like the last 15 minutes, and by then they were already tired because
yeah.
all they were doing through the first half was playing defense.
Well, and you got to look at the other side of it too. I feel like we had a very very solid ref game. I feel like
We did.
I feel like the red card was very warranted, very warranted. On the Argentine player, what's his name? Enzo.
Fernandez deserved it.
Yeah, Fernandez deserved that red card. I mean, that was
Well, he got
twice.
two yellows. He got two
Yeah,
yellows, but
yeah,
obviously it
but
turned
it
to a
turned
red.
into a red. But I mean, honestly, either one of them could have been a red instantly. The way he did what, especially that
That
second
last one
one.
was a red.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have had the yellow before, that would have been red anyway. He
I'll
was
be honest,
gone.
that first yellow card was kind of bullshit. The second one, he deserved a red card off the bat. So either way, I knew as soon as that happened, I knew he was out. And then
I mean,
playing 10 man down on a team that's already dominating, or playing a man down against a team that's already dominating you.
yeah,
It's
you
just
knew it. Well, and I could say what I said when I was sitting out there watching it with my wife. Um, the one thing Spain didn't want to do was go to PKs. They
nope.
had to score because in PKs doesn't matter if you have 10 men or not. It
It's 5 on
matters.
5.
It's
And
5
they're
on
one on
5.
one.
They did not, and I said it multiple times. I'm like, they have to score in these 20 minutes
Well,
or
they also
they are in
said
trouble.
if they were going to PKs, the only reason Argentina kept one sub was to sub Messi out because he did not make a single penalty kick throughout the FIFA World Cup of 2026.
No, he did not.
He missed
Um,
every single one.
missed all of them. And then I got to just go into a little bit of the aftermath of this Spain and Argentina game, and I'm just gonna be honest. Argentina showed no fucking class at all. None after they lost that
Nope,
game
they
to Spain.
didn't.
They didn't show a championship mentality. They didn't show we've been here before. They got into a fight and started brawling with Spanish players who were just trying to celebrate a victory. And the simple fact is they showed absolutely no fucking class in that. And that's part of the reason that I will never go for them any ever is because They just don't show class. Soccer is a class sport. When Ronaldo went down, I'll say a lot of things about his play through the World Cup. He did not have his best World Cup. He's also 41 and probably should have retired before this World Cup. 41 years old in the World Cup is very demanding for somebody at that age, even in his probably superior, fitness that he has. It's still a lot on you being the star player at 41 years old. But he shook every other player's hand on the other team. He was gracious in defeat, and he walked off the pitch the man I know he is, and the reason I know he is like that. Argentina created a brawl that could potentially get them suspended from future tournaments. Definitely going to get the national football team fined. Definitely is going to, because at the end of the day, they just showed absolutely no class in taking an L. And to me,
Yeah,
that's a
there was
leadership.
only two people in Argentina that
Yeah,
actually showed class
but
at the very end, which was Alvarez and Lionel Messi went over to Yamal and
yeah,
Pedro and on Gonzalez and
yeah,
all them on Spain. He congratulated them, passing the torch over to Spain. I mean, Lamine Yamal,
yeah,
he's a fucking star. He's 19
and
years
he's
old.
what, 19?
He was
Yeah.
18 when he entered this World Cup. His birthday's on July 13th. He
Yeah.
entered the World Cup at 18 years old and
So, I
absolutely
mean,
phenomenal. He didn't really do much all World Cup, but I mean, Spain kept winning. They kept
hey,
winning.
listen, he was a good distributor of the ball through the World
Absolutely.
Cup.
He passed the ball to
Everybody
Pedro and had
focused
so
on
many assists, but him in
yeah,
the back of the net,
everybody
he
focused
scored
him.
one and then had one offsides.
Correct. Like I said, everybody focused on Yamin Yamal. Everybody did, and rightfully so. He is their star. He is their up and coming prodigy for Spain. He's going to be great at soccer. I think we will be talking about him for years to come, just like Kylan Mbappe. We're going to be talking about both of them for years to come. They're both young superstars for France and for Spain. Um, you know, I mean, got to give some big props to England. They played their absolute guts out against Argentina and had it, and then turned around and just put on a clinic in a very highly contested game against France for the third place. I mean, that game was wild and fun to
I
watch.
think
That was
moving
probably one
forward,
of my most fun
I
games.
think moving forward towards 2030, it's not going to be a run back for Spain though, because they have a lot of older veteran defenders leaving. So I
Yeah,
think it's going
they
to be
do.
some of the newer guys, like not newer, but more modern and higher skilled, like Mbappe and like Holland. I think we'll see more of them.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Norway's definitely going to come
Norway's
back
a young
stronger
team.
next year or in four
Yeah,
years.
Norway's a young team for sure. Norway is young across the board. Not many of their players are old. You still got to watch out for Belgium. You still got to watch out for other people that showed out towards the end. And if, I mean, I'd like to give credence and say that if the U.S. can somehow get a little bit more stability in their program, they could definitely have a chance to, move forward and do something, going forward. They played very well up until that Belgium game where they just seemed to fall apart. But it's kind of similar to how Argentina was in the finals. They just kind of fell apart, I mean, it is what it is. This is football, or this is soccer, and that's kind of how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you have good games, and sometimes you just ain't that dog. And in the finals, Argentina was definitely not that dog. They got dominated from the first whistle to the end of the game, and it was, in my mind, unless it got to PKs, that win for Spain was never in doubt. Like the whole game, they just dominated totally. Argentina couldn't catch its breath. The hydration breaks wasn't even enough for them because they just came out and they just stayed on their defensive side the whole game. It was just wild how much they stayed on the defensive side of the game. So that's the FIFA World Cup wrapped up. Looking forward to 2030, where France is going to come back as a powerhouse. Norway is definitely going to make a statement and come back. England still going to be a decent team. Not going to have too many low pros from them. So they'll still be in the mix. Spain, depending on how they trade out them older defenders, could still be a run. I mean, Argentina, I can't say that they won't be, but the other side of that is losing Messi. If he doesn't come back, that is a big part of their team that is hard to replace. Same with Portugal. Losing Ronaldo after this one, I don't think we see Portugal up at the top of anything for a little while. Gonna have to find some players to, fill in the ranks of those two superstars. But as far as that, that's kind of the FIFA World Cup in a nutshell from us here at the locker room, guys. the other three boys here, they don't talk too much about soccer. So, but we are gonna give the mic over to Watto Smitty. He just wants to talk a little bit about how he felt about Argentina not being that team.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler touched a little bit on it during that your guys' talk there. I mean, them just falling apart as a team, and then the biggest thing I did want to touch on is a team like that with a big face like Messi on it, not being able to have the class to take it out is pretty rough to see. I mean, soccer as a community, even though I don't watch it very often or too much or follow it too much, seems to be growing as a whole. And when you bring in new eyes that see certain things like that, especially as a main big event, it puts a damper on things as a whole. So um, I just want that. Hopefully, that team can take a little bit of that to heart because a couple of those guys will be back next year and see if they could just go out there and leave it on the field.
Yep. Hey, that's exactly what you got to do. I mean, listen, I think pretty much all of us in here have played, competitive sports. We've all been ticked off. We've all probably done things that haven't put us in the best light being in sports in our past. Me 19 years in baseball, basketball, track, Smitty over there in wrestling and baseball, Truin over there in baseball and soccer. Kyle, you play sports in high school? What'd you play, big dog?
Baseball.
Okay, Kyle was baseball. Miggy, I'm guessing football.
Football,
Yep, I
football,
figured.
basketball.
There you go. So
Yeah.
see, and I'm sure we all haven't shown our most true class after a loss that really hit us in the heart. But we're also not paid millions of dollars and not professionals to you know do that. And so I'm just gonna regurgitate Smitty's sentiments. They come back in 4 years to the World Cup if they're not in some kind of trouble with the FIFA World Organization. I hope they come back and they take a little bit of what happened at the end of this one and say that's not who we want to be. That's not who we want to show us to be. That's not what our fans and our country expect from us. And we need to do better. Basically, we just need to do better. We can't do that. We can't show out. I get frustrations boiling over. I get being mad that you didn't repeat as champs. But at the end of the day, humility is key in every competitive sport. And sometimes you just have to take that fucking L. It sucks. It's not fun. Nobody wants to take the L, but it happens to the best of them. And they have to take the L in that one, and they just hopefully they come back stronger for that. That's just my opinion on that one. But in talking about that, we're going to switch it over and we're going to go into some MLB action. Kind of have a conversation about. We'll just go American League, National League. We'll go division by division. We had to talk about this with me, Water Smitty and Water Kai. Back what? This would be 10 episodes ago. Episode 1, where we thought everybody was going to be, who we thought was going to be the juggernauts in the top of their divisions. We got some right. We got some wrong. So let's talk about it. Let's get the whole group's input on where they feel baseball is going to go toward coming towards the playoff, who we think is going to get into the wild card, who we think is going to win. Because, I mean, we said it at the beginning, and some are completely different than what we thought. And they might not be there at the end still because we still have a decent amount of baseball left to play. I mean, we're at what, 104 games? So we got another almost 60, 58 games left to play for some teams. Things can change in 58 games. You go on a 15-game losing streak and you go from first to fourth real quick in your division, and it has happened. I've seen multiple teams be winning and then just go on these hellacious downsides. So let's start off with the American League. We'll leave the East for last, I say, because that's going to be our division. And we'll do second to last, the old Central with Kansas City. So let's start in the west of the American League. Um, right now, it's kind of a deadlock at the top. Uh, half game out, 2 games out. we were kind of right on this one. We looked at this one, guys, and we said, we thought Texas had a good shot, and Houston had. I said Houston had a shot. They're 2 games back. Texas is leading. Seattle's in between them with one more loss, but the same amount of wins as Texas. Where do we think it's going? I mean, we kind of got this one right. We said Texas was going to be a threat to that division. We had some other ones. So, how do we feel about that division as a whole? Do we think Texas holds on through the rest of it, or do we think that maybe that switches up before the end of the season, and maybe we're looking at a different top West contender?
I think the Astros end up winning that division inevitably. I mean, I kind of thought that because I know Ryan, you had said something like what 10 episodes ago about how you thought the Astros were going to win that. I think that they're going to sneak first somehow towards as the season goes on. It's going to be close, but I think the Astros end up winning that division.
All right, all right. I mean, that's kind of where I started the sentiment from the beginning of the locker room, guys. Episode 1 when we brought up baseball to begin with. I didn't say they were going to win it easy. I didn't say they were going to win it clean, but I still have a feeling only 2 games out with a couple of division rivalries against Texas and a couple of series against each other. I mean, you win 4 straight against the team you're 2 behind, you're in first. I mean, it
Yeah.
happens. But, I mean, Texas is a good team. I mean, but let's be real. This whole division as a whole is not doing great. Not anywhere where we thought they were. The top guy is at 500 at 51-51. I was not thinking it was going to be that come mid-season, a little after mid-season. I did not think that I thought it was going to be a little bit better than that. I'm a little bit perplexed on that, but here we are. That's where it's at. Texas is leading at 51-51. I mean, there's other divisions out there that their fourth best team and their third best team would be winning that division almost. So that's
Hmm.
crazy to me. So Smitty, just go into what you think Texas wise.
Offense. And they're coming alive. It's always that the first half of what we talked about was always we knew going into it episode 1 that things were going to change. Injuries were going to change outcomes. Trades were going to change outcomes. People went down, moved up. Showcase new stars. Um, and Jordan Alvarez is doing really, really good this season. Team. I've always liked him as a ball player. Um, my first pick was Seattle. I'm not going to say that I'm fully tilted towards Houston, but I can't firmly say that I don't can pull it through. I mean, it's, if they had to play a series of 3 between them two to decide who got that wild card, I'd be nervous about it. I just say that Houston's got a really good chance. They still hot. Here they are.
Sweet. All right. Al, what you think, buddy? What you got?
I mean, I like the Astros. I'm pretty sure the Astros were the team I picked. Either them or the Texans, the Rangers. But yeah, I mean, either way, this division's so close. I mean, you could even see the A's coming back. I mean, 8 games
Yeah.
out. That's not that far. And it's
Seen bigger
kind of like,
comebacks.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like that with all the AL divisions.
Yeah,
Everything is
they're
just so
all
jumbled
close.
up in the American League right now.
Yeah,
Everyone's
there's
just
definitely no stars, wouldn't you say? Like speak on that. There's really in the AL division, there's no teams that you're just like, wow, they're just blowing it out of the park and they're just that team that nobody can beat. The
Uh,
West, the National League is way different on that realm. But on this side, like anybody has a shot. Like realistically, I mean, the only way I mean, and honestly, there's probably in every division, there's 4 teams that could win it in almost every division. 4 teams could come back and pull it. The AL East is probably the furthest for the teams back up, But I mean, we'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, so you feel Houston as well? You pulling for
Yeah.
Houston? That's who I'm pulling for. I mean, I said it from the beginning. I thought Houston had a good enough, well-rounded team to go through the dog days of the summer. Um, they play very well as a cohesive unit. They are they are 4 games under 500 right now, but it has been a very weird baseball season for the AL as a whole. We've seen this through every division that we'll go through tonight, but I still think that somehow 2 games back, Houston pulls it out. I mean, they are 1 game down at home, and they are 3 games on the road. So depending on where they are for the rest of the season and how much they play home and away, and if they can right some of their ship, I could definitely see Houston coming out of this one. I'm not gonna honestly knock the top three. Texans, Texas, Seattle, and Houston. They all have a shot. The Athletics, they're 8 games. It could happen, but they're gonna have to start really pushing it hard to get to that point. Um, I just don't know if they have enough guff in them to get 8 games back. I mean, because you're asking for 3 teams above you to lose a lot of games for you to get up there. So I'm gonna go the same. I think we're all kind of in agreement that we think Houston somehow comes out and wins this one. So that's pretty cool. I called them from the beginning. I believe Al did as well. But it's gonna be a toss up come the end of the season. Now we're gonna go into the Central. Right now, we have the White Sox in first. They're a game and a half out front. Um, Detroit, Kansas City, bottom of the leaderboard, 6.5, and then Kansas City, unfortunately, Miggy, 12 games out. But Cleveland and Chicago got the 2 top spots, followed by the Twins. So let's talk a little bit on the Central and just how we feel as a whole the Central Division is going to pan out at the end.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think a team to me that's kind of surprised me is the White Sox. I actually enjoy watching them. I think that this year, um, they're playing really good ball, man. And honestly, I'm since the Royals, I've kind of already like the Royals. They're chalked in my mind. There's just too many issues. There's too many problems in the organization. Like I don't. They're probably finish last, if not, bottom of the division. But I'm kind of pushing for the White Sox. I'm not gonna lie. I like watching them. I enjoy them. And out of everyone else in the Central, I would prefer the White Sox to do their thing. And I feel like they kind of deserve it. I mean, I feel like they've been bad for a long time, so it's nice to see them win. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, can't argue with that one at all. Smitty, what you thinking about the Central?
I mean, I do believe back in episode 1 that the White Sox were my sneaky pick for that division, if I'm not mistaken. I think the original team I went with was either the Guardians or the Twins. I
I
can't
believe you
remember.
went with the Twin. I believe you went with the Twins.
I think it was the Twins. I think he's correct. But hey man, I like to see that sneaky pick. I like the White Sox too. I agree with Miguel. They're playing really good ball this year. Their bullpen is surprising the heck out of everybody. Yeah, I, like I said, teams this second half of the year when they're hot and they stay hot. I mean, that's when it really counts. So we'll see if they hold it up in the second half. See how it goes. But the Twins all around, I would still say that they have a really good shot in the playoffs. I don't see them not going as well. So
Okay. Cool. All right. Al, what you think about the Central?
Yeah. I mean, the White Sox are surprisingly good. Love to see that. I mean, as the wild card stands, you have Cleveland that's in it, half a game up right now. Usually, this is kind of about the time Cleveland like sizzles out from winning games. So we'll see how they do. But I mean, if Cleveland stays hot, I could see them taking the division from the White Sox.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a choice. I mean, yeah, I think we're all kind of surprised about the White Sox. I don't think I know we picked them as a sneaky black sheep team. I think my beginning team was I want to say it was. I think I picked the Guardians. I think I picked Cleveland, but I don't remember. That was so many moons ago. But I mean, the White Sox have showed out. I mean, I do think they need to clean up their away ball. That's where they're lacking right now. They are crushing it at home. They are almost double digit wins at home, but away they are seven below. Um, they need to clean up some of their away ball and winning in away stadiums because there's going to be a lot more of that. And let's be real, most likely they're going to be playing away games in the playoffs. And if you don't straighten out their away game deficit towards the end of this season, that's going to spell a little bit of doom for them in the playoffs because they're not going to be going against some randos. They're going to be going against the best teams in the AL. So you definitely got to clean up that away game status. You can't, they're absolutely murking kids when they're at home. 31-17 at home. That is wild. They are playing lights out when they're in front of their own crowd. I just think if they need to clean up a little bit of that away, if they do pull the division at the end of the day, eventually they're going to have to go away. And if they don't clean that up, that's going to be a problem for them for sure. They got to clean up that away. I still think Cleveland has a shot. They're only a game and a half out. Minnesota still has a viable shot. Um, Detroit, I was kind of leaning on them as like a sleeper team, to be out there. But 6.5 games, that's not undoable. Again, most of these teams have actually every one of these teams has winning records at home or at home. And then the only team that has a winning record on the road right now, which is a small margin, is the Guardians. They're 27-24 away, 27-26 at home. They're actually doing better on the road than they're doing at home. So again, I think schedules are going to come into effect in the second half of the season. How many away games you got? How many home games you got? If Chicago's got way more home games, what the proof says right now is they should win this division hands down, and it shouldn't even be a problem. So, that's kind of, where I feel. I'd love to see the White Sox do it. I'll go with Miggy's sentiment. They've been, in college, they haven't been good for a long time. So, it's cool to see a team that hasn't been good for a long time show up and show out and actually, mix up the bowl a little bit. So I'm good with that. Now let's go into the other one, the AL East. We could talk about this one all night, but we're not gonna do that because we got our time constraints. But let's start with Miggy again. How do you feel about the AL East? How do you think it pans out at the end? Do you think the standings stay the way they are, or do you think it's gonna change?
Man, I don't know. Like, I inevitably, I just feel like the Yankees are gonna win the division just because I feel like that's kind of that's how it goes every year. But I don't know. I mean, Boston was just on a 14-game win streak. I
15.
mean, they've been playing really good. The O's are playing really good right now. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. I mean, this I don't know. This division, the Rays, obviously they're super good. I think I don't know. It's kind of I think the Yankees end up winning the division. Rays take wild card. I would like the O's to kind of make a push. Obviously, because I know you guys are O's fans and they're playing good right now, and I'd like to see them make a little push. But I don't know, man. It's kind of tricky because everyone's in that division is playing good ball right now, except for obviously the Blue Jays. Um, but yeah, I think the Yankees win that division, but it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be an easy win for the Yankees. But that's kind of like where I stand with that.
Eddie?
Uh, well, the Yankees losing Judge kind of hinders them a good bit. I mean, Ben Rice is out there absolutely smoking the ball, hitting some home runs. So that's kind of saving their butt right now in a couple of these things. Um, their bullpen is a little shaky, I'd say right now. I think I think Tampa Bay has what it takes to come up over them, and I think we can somehow sneak into that wild card. I think the Orioles will take the wild card spot.
Right, all right, all right. Sweet. So Tampa Bay wins it, and the Orioles sneak up and take the wild card. All right. What you got, Kyle?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's so hard, dude. I think either the division's going to be between Tampa Bay and the Yankees. I mean, unless they fall off. I mean, the way the Orioles and Boston are playing, like if they keep this up the second half, they could just. I mean, 9.5 games for the Orioles. That's not totally like. It's not like it's not doable. They could run hot just like Boston just won 15 games in a row. The Orioles were what 8 games in a row by the time they lost to Boston.
Yeah,
So
we
I
broke
mean,
each
it's
other's. Yeah, we broke each other's streak. They
it's com-
broke ours, and then we turned around and broke theirs
it's
in the
completely
same
doable.
series. So, yeah, I mean,
But
I'm gonna go with that sentiment. I mean, listen, the Yankees losing Judge is huge. I mean, come on, he's one of the biggest parts of their team. Their bullpen has not looked what you're used to a Yankees bullpen looking like. They have given up some games that they should have won with some very piss poor pitching. I mean, Tampa Bay makes me a little nervous. I mean, they're 4-6 in their last 10. They're the only team besides the Blue Jays, who we're not even going to mention, that are a loss in their last 10. The Yankees sitting at 7-3, the Boston sitting at 9-1, Baltimore sitting at 8-2. I mean, these other three teams that I just named, Boston, Baltimore, and the Yankees, they're all winning right now. You know, like you guys said, Boston just came off of a 15 game win streak. And it was, it was collapsed by the O's. The O's were 8 straight or 7 straight. Then they lost one, and then they came back. And that's how they lost theirs. So with three teams right now, all in winning, and I'm not talking like they're 6-4. You got 8-2, 9-1, 7-3, and then you have the team sitting at the top at 4-6 over the last 10. The Rays are gonna have to figure something out. They will. I mean, they're 59-43. Let's not get it twisted. It's not like they haven't played good ball all year. But the last 10 is what I'm going off of right now. They have to right the ship. They have to get back to winning baseball. They're going to have some hard games coming up. They're going to have big series against the Yankees, Boston, and Baltimore coming up through the second half of the season that they're going to have to take at least two, maybe even three off of some of them. The Yankees especially, they're going to have to take two or three from them. Can they do it? Absolutely. The Yankees pitching is not the best right now once you get past the starting pitcher, and losing their home run king is hard for them. Um, I'm gonna go with the same sentiment. I kind of agree with Smitty. I think somehow Baltimore creeps in there. They are playing very good ball right now. Their pitching is finally coming together. They're as bad as they are because their pitching has been bad, and then when the pitching finally got good, their hitting went cold. And now both of them are clicking again finally. If they could stay clicking through the end of the season, it's not because I'm a Baltimore fan. If they could stay clicking where pitching is doing its job and the batters are hitting the ball, Gunner's doing well, Colton Cowser's doing well. I mean, we almost took another one from Boston. That ninth inning where Gunnar Henderson had that double, Tyler O'Neill just gets a little bit more bat on that and bloops that out to the outfield. We're talking about we're going, we're either going into extra innings or the Orioles winning outright right there. And again, that's a shoulda, woulda, coulda. But at the end of the day, there is many possibilities for all four of the top teams in the American League East. Any one of them could win this. I don't care if they're 9.5, 6.5, 2. They have to play each other a lot. At least 8, 11 games in the second half. If one of those teams dominates the other team and they do what they're supposed to do against the other teams they play, that whole Rolodex just spins on its top. Same thing with Boston. Boston was dead last and way out of it, and then they just went on a heater of a streak. And look at them now; they're sitting in third. They're 3 games ahead of Baltimore, and they were at one point, I want to say, 5 games behind Baltimore, sitting in dead last. It can change that quick in baseball. All about who just stays hot and consistent. Now, is New York and Tampa Bay probably the better two teams to go to the playoffs and maybe win a little bit more? Um, yeah, New York being having a positive record away and home again. Again, Tampa Bay has a deficit in the away, but a really big win in the home game. They win at home. So, and right now they're leading the AL with the most wins at 59. So, if they get to play home all the time, again, if they win this division and they stay the way they are, says that they should be able to hold their own because they're 35-15 at home. They've lost 15 games all season out of 50. So it should go to hold that they could. Boston, New York's a little closer at 26-23 at home. They're actually playing better on the road. It'd be better for them to be a wild card team because they're 31-22 on the road. Same thing with Boston. They're losing at home, but they're winning on the road. Road baseball is important. The Orioles are just like the Rays, not as great, but they're winning more at home and they're losing on the road. So that gives me a little bit of nervousness if Baltimore creeps up and gets that wild card. They gotta fix that road. They gotta win on the road. They just have to. Like you have a potential right now with the way your whole division is playing that you have to win road games. You have to. And right now, they haven't done it this year, but they have one more than they've lost at home. So the East is probably my most toss-up one. I don't have any idea, guys, who's going to win this one because I feel like, in my opinion, my personal opinion, the East has always been the most dominant division in the AL. And it's always a toss-up every year of who's going to come out of there. It's been the Orioles, it's been Boston for a lot of years, it's been the Yankees for a shit ton of years, it's been Tampa Bay some years. Even Toronto, just last year or the year before was up there and rocking and rolling, and they were in the playoffs and doing their damn thing. It's just a toss-up in the AL East of who's going to come out at the end. So I'm going to say that the Yankees win it. I'm gonna say that Baltimore creeps in and gets a wild card spot. The Yankees, even without Judge, I think they have enough talent on that team. I think they're gonna fix their pitching mistakes, and fix that bullpen. And I think they make a run at the end of the year to take the AL East. And I think it's gonna be a fight between Tampa Bay and Baltimore of who pulls a wild card out of the AL East. So, T, you want to add anything to this one on your stupid ass socks?
Go Vladimir Guerrero and the Blue Jays.
Okay. There's your next. There's that next one that we gotta write down. Yeah. Okay.
Obviously,
I
I
know.
want my Sox to just keep playing hot. We lost on the doubleheader, but other than that, they've been playing flawless lately. I'm shocked. Like I have the first half of the season made me literally just want to stop watching baseball.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah,
they're playing well right now. Just got to keep it up.
How it feels all season
Of
with
course
the
it's
Royals,
Baltimore.
bro.
Of course it's fucking the Orioles that have crashed this streak. What a bunch of dicks.
The
Had
Royals
to.
are amazing.
They are. They had to do it. They had to do it. All right, gentlemen. Well, let's flip over to the NL. The NL is going to be a little easier for us.
Oh, way easier.
We're kind of there. I'm pretty sure that every team that's leading their division is exactly who we called was leading their division, guys. Atlanta, smoking. Milwaukee, smoking. The Dodgers, never any freaking doubt.
Yeah.
We've said this. We said this in the hot take the first time. Put a salary cap on baseball. Put it on there. Put a salary cap on baseball, and let's let the teams even out a little bit, and let's see what happens when every team is on equal footing. Let's let everybody fight for the top stars. The Dodgers are running away with it. Now there's other teams, Atlanta was running away with it for a while. They had the best record in baseball. Well, the Dodgers said, "Sit down, little child, behave. Let me show you how this is done." And now they have the best record in baseball. They are dominating home and away. They do not lose much. 31-19 at home, 34-19 away. Good God.
Every team that's winning their division in the National League is the best team in that division. If you look at the home and away record for each first place in each division, that it's the best team. So it'd be very unfair to be in a division with the Dodgers especially, but the Brewers and the Braves, they're just running away with it at this point. I will say I think the Phillies and the Cubs make a wild card spot. But yeah, those are pretty locked in. That's how they'll end out as the season goes on.
Eddie,
Sure.
what you got?
Man, it's like you said it best. At the beginning of the season, these are the teams we thought. I mean, let's face it here, the NL just continuously is more stacked than what the AL has talent-wise, I would say. Like, if you put up each team against each team, I'm sure you'd find more superstars on the NL than you'd find in the AL. So,
I agree with that.
I mean, I think that salary cap is definitely a needed thing. That would definitely change the dynamic of baseball. I tell you that. If teams were given a certain amount that they could spend on players, let alone the team itself, you're talking a whole different thing of what's going to happen. It's going to go where money talks, bullshit walks. So, man, do I think any of it's going to change? Probably not. I do agree with Miguel that I think I could see the Phillies coming up for that wild card spot. Other than that, man, I think it's pretty clear who we're going to see in the. But if you want my honest opinion, I think the Brewers can take down the three-headed dragon and the Dodgers. Man,
I hope.
they get Jacob that night pitching, bro. I would love to see a Jacob versus a Shohei matchup that night of starting pitchers.
Yeah,
and just prove the bigger dog because, dude, Jacob right now this year is a nutbag himself. 105.5 mile-an-hour fastball is fucking psychotic. I'm just gonna say that right now. I think the Brewers got it. I think the Brewers might go to the World Series this year.
Okay.
They're
I
playing
can see it.
I agree,
I can
Smitty.
see it.
What do you think? What do you think?
I hope so.
I mean, I like the Brewers. The Brewers are definitely my team for the NL. Yo, just remember what happened last year when the Brewers and the Dodgers played. That was
Yeah, that was bad.
yeah. Tony said, "I don't care, and I'm gonna do what I want to you guys."
He did. He did.
So,
He
but yeah,
definitely
I
said
like
that.
the Brewers. I like to see the Brewers win. They deserve to win. They're such a good team last year. I mean, between the Brewers, the Braves, and the Dodgers, I mean, it's hard to pick. There's three teams that are pretty much neck and neck right now.
Yep, definitely. Jerome, what you got, big
Uh,
dog? What you thinking about the NL?
Yeah, it's. I wasn't really in the first episode when you guys went over this stuff, but I do want to point out one thing that Smitty and Kyle kind of hooked in on last time. Do you guys believe the Pirates still get their wild card spot?
No.
You said you guys liked them coming up. You thought maybe they had a chance. I don't know if you guys still stand. I think the Phillies are going to get it over the Pirates, but
I think the Phillies get it, and I think the second one is toss up between the Cubs and Miami.
the Cubs.
Personally,
Miami's
Honestly,
playing horrible right now.
they are. They're just playing bad ball
Miami's
right
getting
now.
beat.
But all they have to do is turn it around. Again, they have 58 games left. I mean, and they are in a winning record, barely, and they're 8.5 out in their division. But I mean, the Cubs,
Lost 9 in a row. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
listen. There's one thing we gotta attest about Pittsburgh, and their offense is impeccable.
Yeah.
Their offense is absolutely stellar. I'd put them up against the hitting contest against any other team in the league right now, and they'd probably win it. They'd probably drive in more runs. They'd probably get more hits than any other team. Their offense is stellar. Their defense looks like a bunch of rec ball players out there fucking tossing the ball around. It's pretty embarrassing. If you search up the clips they have this year on TikTok, it is so silly. I can't even believe it. We got MLB players out here making millions of dollars throwing it in the dirt. Like it's absolutely
Bro.
wild.
What? Crazy, bro. What you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not.
What do you mean?
Their defense is Ass
I seen
cheeks.
I seen a clip yesterday of it was the Yankees versus the uh, who they play yesterday.
Pirates.
Yeah, that what you were talking about. And the dude threw it right in the dirt.
Yeah, when
Trying to
Brian Reynolds threw it right in the dent, but yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
about 100 mile an hour into the dirt, it bounced up. Dude was able to go from second to third on that bounce in the air. It was crazy.
I'm like, bro,
Like,
what's going on right now?
Hey, I could do that still
yeah,
at 42. I could still do that. I could throw a ball in the dirt. That ain't hard.
that's what I mean. Now, here's the scary part about Pittsburgh. They have the talent to be good, really good. If they shape up that defense and have started not making a bunch of errors per game,
They could make a run.
yeah,
They're a
they
playoff
can make a
contender.
big run.
They could
I
definitely scare
mean,
some people. They could definitely at least scare some people this year. They have the pitching, they have the hitting to do it, but their defense, their outfielders look like they're staring at butterflies instead of staring at the baseball. Um, that's what it looks like. Like it looks like a kid in T-ball where the coach is like, "Pay attention." He's doing one of these, staring at the ceiling. Like they don't have their defense together at all. I'm gonna go a little bit out, and I'm gonna pick a different team for this, just simply because I have to, because I want to be different. But it's also a place where a couple of Orioles players went to spend their final days. I want to see Atlanta back in there pretty bad. That's who I want to see. They were dominating the first part of the season. I'd really love to see Atlanta somehow get to it. I'd love to see the Dodgers versus Atlanta, because that's like a you took our first baseman, now we're gonna send you out of the playoffs kind of feel when they took Freddie Freeman from them. So I'd love to see that just for a redemption arc, for Atlanta to say you can have him and we can still do it without him, and then we beat him. That would be fun to watch for me. Personally, don't care. Realistically, in the NL, I mean that's just how I am. I mean I'm a Baltimore fan, as y'all can see. But I would love to see Atlanta be the one to pull it out and go against the Dodgers and put them down and say, take our first baseman with more money than anybody deserves, and we're still gonna put you guys out of the playoffs. Have a good time. That would be fun to watch for me. Um, that's just my personal opinion. I definitely think Philly is going to get in. Um, they have the team to do it. They have it on offense and defense. They're not playing their best ball right now.
Don't sleep on Arizona either,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Arizona. I've watched Arizona do this multiple times,
I
and
know.
they always fade. Like right now, they're on 8-2, but they always fade. They've done it one time in the last like 20 years where they just kept it going. So that is why I
Yeah.
can't really have a conversation about them right now. Now, the next 20 games, they keep. We're gonna have a different conversation about this, because we'll be on the locker room, guys, having a whole different conversation, saying I was wrong, and here they are, here they come. Uh, Pittsburgh sews up their defense. Pittsburgh's going to scare some teams, definitely run up there. Um, but at the end of the day, I would really like to see Atlanta versus the Dodgers. I think they have a shot. I think all three of these top teams have a shot to go to the World Series. They're all playing impeccable ball. They all are. It doesn't matter which one you pick, would be leading any division in baseball. Atlanta would be leading any AL division. The Brewers would be leading any AL division. The Dodgers would be leading any AL division. And they're leading their divisions by decent numbers: 11 for the Dodgers, 7 for the Brewers, 4.5 for Atlanta, which isn't as good. But Philly is going to be a team. Does Philly come up and knock Atlanta off the top spot? They're 5-5 in their last 10. Atlanta 6-4. Right there, it's not really that far. I mean, they are 4.5 games out, so they're going to have to sew that up a little bit and close that gap. But it's, again, division games are going to matter at the end of this season. When Atlanta plays Philly, when Milwaukee plays the Cubs, when the Dodgers play Arizona, same with the AL. Who comes out of those victorious? And if they're winning enough of their games on the other side, this could all switch up, and we could be going, what the crap? I mean, the Dodgers aren't going anywhere. Let's be real. The Dodgers are 11 games up, and they're going to continue to pull away in their division. That's just my opinion. They don't lose. and they show very hard what money can buy you if you want to be the best team in baseball. Um, I got a question, towards the end of locker room guys, because we're getting to the end of the episode here, guys. Do we think, and I want an answer from everybody here, do we think a salary cap would make baseball more fun to watch? Period,
Yes.
point blank across the board.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm there. I mean, everything else has a salary cap. Everything else has a salary cap. So, I mean, we're at the time where I think personally something needs to change. Yes, Dodgers fans are excited. Yes, of course they're excited. They're fucking winning everything. I would be excited. If it was the Orioles that were winning everything, I probably wouldn't be having the same conversation, but I'm going to play the salty dog role, and I want everybody to have a shot. The Orioles have been the Yankees and the Red Sox whipping boys for as long as I've watched baseball. Sorry, in the AL East, nobody makes people greater and brings more talent out of their roster than the Orioles. Just for the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, and whoever else to snipe that player for money that the Orioles can't match to make their team just that more goated. And we could go all the way back to the 90s with Mike Mussina and the Yankees, and we could keep going from there. All the players, the Manny Machados and the Nick Markakises and the I could just keep going and going on the players that we have built up through our farm system. We have the best farm system in baseball, Baltimore does. And I will put that on anything. Because every time we grow a player, and we're about to unfortunately probably have to deal with this here very soon with the guy I'm wearing, Mr. Gunnar Henderson, you know the amount of money that's going to be thrown at that guy? The amount of money that's going to be thrown at him when he comes to be a free agent. And is he going to take it? God, I hope not. But I know how baseball works. You got to get paid. You got to get your bag. And it happens all the time. Our pitchers all the time get great playing through our system, and then boom, some team comes in and gives 3 times what we're able to pay them. And we got to watch them walk out the door, and then we got to build another one. And everybody's like, oh, why can't the Orioles just get over the hump? Well, we did a couple years ago and had over a 100-game win season. But why? Our entire team was like under the age of freaking 25, and they were all under contract. What happened? 2 years later, bink, bink, bink. Some people disappeared off of our team. Why? Because we can't afford them. We can't pay what big squads pay. We can't afford the luxury tax. The smaller markets, the Kansas City. Kansas City's the same way. You can't afford to. If you made the best baseball player right now in the world on Kansas City or Baltimore, you'd have him for 4 years tops, and some team's going to come in and give him $700 million, and you're not touching it. Have a good day. See you later. Hope you win multiple championships with the team after we made you one of the best baseball players in the world. Thanks. So that's just my opinion on it. Something has to change. You want every team and every fan to have, some skin in the game. And when you have teams out there winning 65, 66 games through the first 100 games, they have a 66% win rate. I mean, baseball almost becomes a little stagnant. It just does. Like, I haven't watched a lot lately. I've been watching the Orioles here and there, but it becomes stagnant to me because I already know. I can almost already tell you the ending of the story. Who wants to watch a sports thing where I can already tell you the ending? The Dodgers go to the finals, the Dodgers whoop somebody's butt, and the Dodgers win the championship. Unless there's some Cinderella story where the team that shouldn't have never beat the Dodgers beats the Dodgers, which that's a cool story. But 9 times out of 10, Dodgers taking that trophy home. That's just facts. 9.5 times out of 10, the Dodgers are taking that trophy home because they have the best roster in baseball because they paid for it. Say what?
It's mostly just 10 out of 10. You don't have to
Yeah.
try to play the halves and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
that state as a whole between football, baseball, and every other sport that we're going to go on and talk about.
Yeah,
they just do phenomenal things with players. If you could cut California out, like the 49ers and the Rams and then the Dodgers, I mean, shit, sports might actually be a lot more fun to watch.
he's probably not wrong. He's probably not wrong.
Look at Golden State during prime. Like, there's just that state as a whole. Just
same thing with the Lakers. The Lakers in their prime.
Lakers.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, and I know that's your team, but like realistically, Kobe and Shaq on the same team. Come on, dog. Like, come on. Like, come on.
Like, why was that a
Like,
thing?
like why was that even allowed to happen? You knew what they were gonna do. They were gonna dominate. Shaq's the most dominant center
They
to
allowed
ever
that to
step on
happen,
a
but
court.
they didn't allow CP3 to be traded to the
Yeah,
Lakers.
yeah. Like,
That's what's crazy.
well, again, and that's the thing. At least basketball's trying to do something to make their stuff fun to watch. Baseball don't care. You want to give Shohei Ohtani
Mm-mm.
this much money? Give it to him. Good to go. You want to give that other pitcher from Japan this much money because he's the best next guy coming out? Give it to him. You want to take Freddie Freeman from Atlanta and put them on one leg? Give him the money. Keep going. And then they just dust everybody's ass because why? They got
And
the
they have
best
Pages,
team.
they have Muncy,
Yeah.
they have Rushing,
I
they
mean,
have so many other good players already. Like, why do you need to
yeah.
just keep cherry picking from the litter?
Like, and it's just, it's almost, baseball is becoming so much more unfun to watch just because of that situation. Like, I'm just tired of watching the same team snipe every great player. I mean, we're going to talk. We talked about Pittsburgh a lot tonight. I promise you, 20-1, Paul Skeens is not a Pittsburgh pitcher once he comes up on contract. The amount of money that's going to be thrown at that kid when he comes up off that contract, Pittsburgh will never be able to keep him. They don't have the money to do it. He will be playing in another jersey. The only way you keep people where they are is if you have a Cal Ripken kind of guy that is like, nope, Baltimore believed in me in the beginning, and I'm staying there. Pittsburgh believed in me in the beginning, I'm staying there. Because they believed in me, I believe in them. That's the only way. But when you get hundreds of millions of dollars thrown your way, and you get the promise of, we're going to win championships, there you go. You know, and I can't fault the players for it. Hey, get your bag. But baseball has to do something to make it more competitive because right now, unfortunately, it's just super not fucking competitive.
Hey,
It's
all
not.
I know is shout out Hunter Goodman because he's good, man.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see it. You know, we'll get.
Boom.
We're gonna get more into it. You know, we want to talk a little bit about the next ones coming up at the end of the locker room, guys. We got the sport that we all want to talk about coming up very soon.
Thank God.
Football is coming back. We're going to talk more about football coming up here soon. Training camps are starting, and then we get into the preseason games and then into the regular season. We're going to have a lot of hot takes on that for sure. How we feel every team's going to go. And we're also going to be a lot more into baseball because we're getting into that September, October time when the playoffs are really going to iron out who's going and who's not. So let's get ready to have a lot more commentary going forward on more baseball, more football because everything else is pretty much dying off. But until next time.
Lights go! Lights on, game time, welcome to the show. Every sport, every moment, every take they need to know. From the buzzer to the end zone, from the diamond to the ring. Every headline, every upset, every championship swing. Legends in the